text of Tawheed with saying هذا ذكر بيان عقيدة أهل السنة والجماعة. This is the announcement of the Aqidah of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Imam Tahawi was talking about that in year what? Probably this was year 290, 270, something like that, of Hijrah. Right? Let's say average, 270 Hijrah. What year of Hijrah are we in now? Huh? 14 what? 1438. Hijrah means what? Where does which group? There are many groups. The group that follows the Sunnah. Since that time, so we're talking after 200 years after the Prophet ﷺ, the term came, Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. We're mentioned clearly now, Ahlus Sunnati wal Jama'ah as a group of Muslims. Why? Why was that mentioned? Weren't we all Muslims? Yes or no? Yes. All right. I have to go through history real quick. Not too long, but so you need to understand why we came. Okay. So, Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah are those who follow the Sunnah, yani the prophetic Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Very nice. Why was there a need? Aren't we all Muslimin? Allah says, "Huwa sammakumul Muslimin." Yes, we are. This al-Muslimin was from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's first, when he came, up until about year 36 Hijri. That's when some groups split and they no longer just call themselves Muslimin, they call themselves something else. And unfortunately, these are bad events. I don't like to talk about them, but I'm talking about them only to understand how we came about. Year 36, there is a battle called Siffin between two Sahabis. One is Ali and the other is Muawiyah. Right? Okay. Issues we don't need to go into. Disagreements, misunderstandings, things happened, there was a war. In this war, both these groups called themselves what? What? Muslimin. What did they call themselves? Were there any sects? Were there any groups? No. The difference was political difference. Do we understand? Everybody was Muslim. There was no sects. Nothing formal. In the battle, there was something called mediation. Mediation, which means what? Sayyidina Ali agreed to mediate so we don't have more bloodshed. Yes? A group of his army right here, I'm going to take now a group here. They split. And that's the first split in the Ummah, and they're called Khawarij. We call them Khawarij. They say we don't agree to your mediation, and therefore, Ya Ali, you're kafir, and also Muawiyah is kafir. Year 36. That's the first split officially, that a group of the Ummah went out and said, we're not just Muslims, but we are Muslims who disagree with you, and you both are not Muslims. We are the only Muslims. Before year 36 and the battle, we did not have anybody saying, I am Ahl Sunnah, everybody is Muslim. Alright? Now, they don't like to be called Khawarij. We call them Khawarij, and the Shia also call them Khawarij, but they don't like to be called Khawarij. We call them Khawarij because it comes from the Arabic language, kharaja. Kharaja means what? To exit. Really, to exit means to separate from the army of Ali. But really, these people were all Qurra. Qurra means what? Reciters of the Mus'haf. Yani they're memorizers of the Quran. What people today call Hafiz. Yeah, those people were Hufaz at that time. I don't like to use the word Hafiz or Hufaz because Hafiz or Hufaz is only for the Hadith scholars. It's not for the people who memorize the words of the Quran. But anyway, those were the memorizers of the book. All right, they memorized. They didn't have the deep knowledge that they should have had. They exited from the army of Ali and they made their own group. They no longer believe in Ali or Muawiyah or anybody. And these people exist until today. And they're called now Ibadi. And today the Sultanate of Oman, next to UAE, next to Yemen, Oman is almost entirely Ibadis. The Muslims in Oman are actually Ibadis today. So are the Muslims in southern Algeria, also in southern Libya, southern Algeria, and also some parts of Morocco, southern, in the desert. These people are still there. They no longer do takfir of Ali or Muawiyah, though they wronged them. And obviously they wronged Muawiyah more than Ali. But still, they still wrong them. But they do that. And they pray mostly like us. They just put their hands down. If you go to Sultanate of Oman, you'll see them. They're good people. They have evolved. Yes? Okay. All right, so these people split. That's year 36. Now, that's first hit. Second hit, year 40, Ali was assassinated. Sayyidina Ali was killed in the masjid. Here, Al-Hassan was leading. He made a deal with Muawiyah. The split was still there politically. Politically, even after these people exited, this group here was still calling themselves Muslims only. But still there's a divide. And there's struggle. Sayyidina Ali was killed. Al-Hassan, his son, became the ruler after him. Al-Hassan gave and made a deal with Muawiyah because the war was still going to go on. He says, you know what I'll do? I will give up my chair so you can rule. On a condition that after you die, it comes back to me or it goes to Shura. He says, okay, this way we save each other from bloodshed. That was year 40. Year 40. When Al-Hassan made a deal with Muawiyah, and that year was called by the government at that time Amul Jama'ah, the year of Jama'ah. Why? Because these two big groups now, they agreed to be under one. Some of the army of Ali did not like that, who remained. So we're going now here, let's say here. Oops, sorry. So, let's say. So let me redraw it now from here to this, because these people are gone now. So, when Al-Hassan made a deal, some part of the army that's left from Ali did not agree, and they split. That eventually, not right there, but about year 61, that's when Al-Hussein was murdered, or martyred. That became, after that, became crystallizing as Shia. At that time, it was on these groups, they just did not like what Al-Hassan did, and they don't obviously like what Muawiyah does. So they kept crystallizing themselves by themselves until after the killing of Al-Hassan. Al-Hassan was murdered also. Then Al-Hussein was also murdered year 61. That gave them a lot of sort of crystallization motivation, and eventually they started crystallizing themselves as a group along with the other group. So now we have one group, two group, both split from the army of Ali. Now, these people, the first group, they said, what we will do is we will follow the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ through our ways, not through what Ali does or what Muawiyah does. They have their own ways of doing it. What the Shia eventually did, not at this point, but beyond this point, they said, you know what? The political leadership is not in Muawiyah at all, but the political leadership is only in Ahlul Bayt. And not only they're the political leaders, they are the religious leaders as well. And not only then they're the political and religious leaders, they are the leaders appointed by Allah. If you disagree with that, you disagreeing with who? If you disagree with Allah, what happens to you? You're not Muslim. We understand how the theory formed. All right. These guys, they say, no, the political leadership of Ali is wrong. The political leadership of Muawiyah is wrong. They have their own political leadership. Do they believe in the Quran? Yes. The Khawarij, obviously, they read the Quran. Do they believe in the Quran? Yes. What's the problem? The prophetic sunnah. The prophetic sunnah to them is something they need to do through their own ways. The prophetic sunnah to them also, it's something they do through their own ways, but also it has to be through Ahlul Bayt. All right. Some of the Shia groups want to say that Ahlul Bayt have 12 Imams. Whatever they say, it's like the Prophet saying. Legally speaking, from a legal weight. Yani, if one of the Imams of Ahlul Bayt says something, even though he is 200 years after the Prophet ﷺ, it carries the same legislative weight. Does that make sense? It's very important to understand. Now, this group entirely, from here, and this is where, those are the people who were with Ali, up until here. These group called themselves Ahlus Sunnah. Which means what? They say, look, first of all, we follow the Quran. Number two, we love Ahlul Bayt, but we don't follow them as divinely appointed religious leaders. Number three, we disagree with you, Ibadis or Khawarij, at that time that we called them that Ali was misguided. We don't believe so. We believe Ali was guided. And we believe the Sunnah, and what we mean by the Sunnah, strictly the prophetic Sunnah, and Nabawiyah. That's what we mean by the Sunnah. We don't mean the Sunnah of Imams of Ahlul Bayt or Imams that we appoint. We mean by the Sunnah strictly the prophetic one. This is the group that we belong to. All of us here. All right? So, I just needed to give you this so we understand who we are as Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So, from that point on, sort of, year 40, and then beyond that, obviously, people start saying Al-Jama'ah, then As-Sunnah. The first one who mentions the Ahlus Sunnah is Muhammad bin Sirin. Who knows Muhammad bin Sirin? Remember Tabi'i. Muhammad bin Sirin is a Tabi'i. Tabi'i means what? Follower of a Sahabi. Right? So Muhammad bin Sirin is a Tabi'i. He used to say, so that means right after the Sahaba time. He used to say, we would find people and we would ask them about their narrations, riwayat. So they tell us the riwayah. Then we tell them, well, why don't you name who narrated it to you? Then he says, we look at the narrators. If they are Ahlus Sunnah, then we take them. If they are people of Bid'ah, then we don't take them. So, what Ibn Sirin is telling you, at that time, it's either you are Ahlus Sunnah or Ahlul Bid'ah. So they called the others people of Bid'ah. And they called these people people of Sunnah. Does that make sense? All right, very important. Okay. Yes. Go ahead. Murji'a is a group that believes as long as you say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, you don't need to worry about anything. La yadurru ma'al imani dhanb, they said. As long as you have iman in the heart, doesn't matter. And that's not how Ahl Sunnah are. Right? In general now. Maybe we'll talk about it later some other time, inshallah. Okay, so, yes.
What about the group called Wahhabis? Where do they belong to?
All these, the naming of these groups is all new. In other words, at that time, at that time, there were only three groups: the Khawarij, the Shia, and Ahl Sunnah. That's all. Those are still the main groups. From 1400 years until now, those are still the main groups who call themselves Muslims. And any other group that comes out, they come out to either one of them. All right? So, we'll talk about that, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so as much as we can, because we can't finish this whole thing in 3 days, 1 hour a day. I'm just saying. Yeah, but I mean, but at least you need to have an idea. All right, he says, هذا ذكر بيان عقيدة أهل السنة. This is the bayan of عقيدة of أهل السنة. This is أهل السنة والجماعة according to the fuqaha of the Millah, Abu Hanifa, and he mentions the two companions. Obviously, remember, Abu Hanifa came before Imam Shafi'i, correct? So, and he says, وَمَا يَعْتَقِدُونَ مِنْ أُصُولِ الدِّينِ. And this is what they believe in, the usul of the deen. Notice what Imam al-Tahawi is saying. This is the usul ad-din. Usul means what? Usul comes from the word what? Asl. Right? Asl, you already know it. In Malaya you even have. Right? You say Orang Asli. Right? So you are the Orang Asli actually. In the deen thing, you are the Asli. Okay. Asl means the frame, the foundation, right? The origin. Alright? And that means you build on the foundation the furu' or the secondary matters. But the usul are these things that he calls usul. And that's why, again, usul, you have usul al-din, which is aqidah, and you have usul al-fiqh, which is the legal theories of jurisprudence. Alright, then he goes, then I'm going to go real quick to page 44. I think we need to go quickly so we can finish something. Okay. He says, نقول في توحيد الله معتقدين بتوفيق الله. We say in the tawheed of Allah, believing in the blessing of Allah, إن الله واحد. إن الله واحد. What does it mean, Allah واحد? What does واحد mean? What does that mean? One means this. Allah is not one like this. Huh? What does that mean? Allah is one in the sense of what? Allah is not in the one in the sense of one, and before one there's zero, and before zero there's minus one, and after minus one there's plus one, there's one, and there's plus two. No. And Allah doesn't mean one in the sense of just the one. What does the one mean? What does that mean? What? Huh? What does the oneness of Allah mean? That's all synonyms. You're giving me synonyms. Very nice. What does the oneness of Allah mean? Yeah, what does that mean? لم يكن له كفوا أحد. That's what it means. What does that mean? It means Allah Wahid, nothing else is like Him. That's what it means. It doesn't mean the one or the only one just in this sense. It means the one that nothing else is like Him. That's why He's Wahid. Nothing else is like Him. لم يكن له كفوا أحد. Nothing is comparable to Him, and that's why He's one. He's one in His attributes. He's one in His actions. He's one in His names. Nothing is like Him. When we say Wahid, we don't mean one, just as a mathematical one. We don't mean the only one, just the only one. We mean the one that nothing else is like Him. We can call it absolute uniqueness. Or we call it the oneness. Oneness in the sense, not that one, but in this oneness in the sense that nothing is like Him. In Allah Wahid. La sharika lahu. Has no partners. has no comparables. Sharik, partners, associate, compared, nothing is similar to him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alright? La sharika lahu. Has no partner subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's the whole point of La ilaha illallah. The whole point of La ilaha illallah. Alright. He says, وَلَا شَيْءَ مِثْلَهُ. Second point, he says, nothing is like him. لا شيء مثله. Allah Wahid means nothing is like him. Where's the dalil from that in the Quran? Where's the dalil that Allah is Wahid in the Quran? Huh? Dalil that Allah is Wahid in the Quran. ليس كمثله شيء. What else? وإلهكم إله قل هو الله. What's the difference between واحد and أحد? Alright, let's talk about Surah Al-Ikhlas since it's Surah Al-Tawheed. What does قل هو الله أحد mean? قل هو الله أحد. Everybody reads it all day long. What does أحد mean? What does أحد mean? Versus واحد. Huh? Huh? I can't hear you. You have to speak up. No, that's a summit. Greater? Huh? Ahad, nothing is equal to him. So if you say this is wahid means unique, ahad is oneness. If you say this is uniqueness, ahad is oneness. Many of the scholars of Kalam, they say they both mean the same. But what do you mean by oneness and uniqueness? Alright. Ahad in the sense that you cannot comprehend him because he's one that you have nothing similar to. Such as what? You understand things to be either in composition. Let's say here's an atom, neutrons, protons, electrons. You say an atom is composed of things, correct? Or you say there's subatomic that is indivisible. So this is, the atom is divisible in a sense, at least it's got parts. And their things are indivisible. Either things are composed of things, or they're things that cannot be divided anymore. Allah is neither. Ahad. He is not composed of things, nor is he not composed of things. Why? Because both these things are attributes of the creation. Makhluq. And the creator is wahid, nothing is like him. Does that make sense? Let me give you another example. You either know things to be either in the state of motion or standstill. Correct? Really everything is in motion, even if you think it's standstill. But anyway, let's just take it like a theory. So either in motion or standstill. Allah is not attributed with either. Allah is not attributed with motion, literally, nor is he attributed with standstill, literally, because both of them are attributes of his creation. And he is لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ لَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. Nothing is like him. Do we understand each other? What's the whole rule? قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. لَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. Nothing is comparable to him. Standstill and motion are both attributes of the creation. He's not attributed with the attributes of the creation. Why can't he be attributed with attributes of the creation? Why don't? Why not? Why not? Tell me. Why not? Why can't the creator be attributed with the attributes of the creation? Tell me. Huh? Huh? يلا يلا يلا. أستاذ. أستاذة. مشايخ. علماء. Come on. We need to talk. Now, why isn't the Creator attributed with the attributes of the creation? Okay, you say Allah says, لم يكن له كفوا أحد. Aqli wise, rationally, why not? Huh? But you need to keep, you've been exposed. Good. It means what he's saying is, if someone else is attributed with the attributes of the Creator, it means he's also Creator in that attribute. And that's impossible. If there is a creation that has an attribute of the Creator, even one attribute, it means that creation is the Creator in that attribute. And that's an impossibility, intellectually and rationally. Does that make sense? Yes or no? I can repeat it. Okay, good. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدَ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدُ. What does Allah Samad mean? Come on, I mean, we need to know these things, and I know these are basics. Bismillah. Allahu Samad, that you read every day 5 times, because it's the shortest surah. What does Allah Samad mean? What does Allah Samad mean? Huh? Huh? Allahu Samad. Allahu Samad. I need to know these things. These are basics. Come on. What is Allahu Samad? What does As-Samad mean? Samadiyya of Allah Ta'ala. What does that mean? As-Samad is the one الذي تصمد إليه الحوائج, which means what? المستغني عن كل ما سواه المفتقر إليه كل ما عداه. يعني, it means the one who is not in need of anything for anything, yet everything is in need of him for everything. Let me repeat it again, because you need to memorize it. As-Samad means the one who is not in need of anything for anything, yet, simultaneously, everything is in need of him for everything. Allahu Ahad, the one that nothing else is like him. Samad means what? Everything else is in need of him for everything, yet he's not in need of anything for anything. Yeah? Okay, so what's the Samad again? What does the Samad mean? I just told you. What does the Samad mean? I just said it. I need you to repeat what I said. What does the Samad mean? What does As-Samad mean? The one who is not in need of anything for anything, yet everything is in need of him for everything. Again, As-Samad means the one who is not in need of anything for anything, yet everything is in need of him for. Again, what does As-Samad mean? No, I mean these things are, they have to settle in. The one who is not in need of anything for anything, yet everything is in need of him. I mean, this is ABCs, right? I know I'm reminding you with these things, but I mean, you should quickly remember them. لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا. What does لم يكن له كفوا أحد mean? لم يكن له كفوا. لم يكن. Nothing is similar to him. Nothing is comparable to him. Kufwan means comparable. Ahad, nothing. Nothing is comparable to him. This is Surah Al-Tawheed, right? You all know that. It's called Surah Al-Tawheed as well. Surah Al-Ikhlas as well, and Surah Al-Tawheed amongst its names. I mean, these things are ABCs. You need to know them. And you need to know them well. Okay, good. Imam Tahawi says, لا شيء مثله, nothing is like him. It means what? لم يكن له كفوا أحد. Okay. Then he says on number 3, ولا شيء يعجزه. لا شيء يعجزه. It means nothing overwhelms Allah Ta'ala. Nothing overwhelms him. Nothing overwhelms him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing overwhelms him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing overwhelms him. Nothing overwhelms him. All right. Let's move to number 4. ولا إله غيره. ولا إله غيره. لا إله غيره. It means what? There's no God other than him. Right? Can there be other gods other than him? Why not? What's your dalil? Give me dalil. Huh? Give me dalil. لو كان فيهما آلهة إلا الله لاختلفتا. Right? You have the dalil there. Give me dalil aqli from you, the reason. Why can't there be 2 gods? We know there can be, but for those who believe there are 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 gods, why can't that? Why is that impossible? What if they agree? They look, all these so-called gods, they will agree not to fight. How's that? Huh? What if there's multiple creators? Why can't there be multiple creators? It defeats the oneness. It defeats the oneness. That's a good one. If there were 2 or 3 gods allegedly against the truth, contrary to the truth, can God A hide information from God B? If he can, then B is ignorant. He doesn't know everything. If he cannot, then A cannot do all he wants. Then he cannot be God either. Because God is supposed to be attributed with the attributes of Godhood, which are absolute. Okay. You say, no, but they all agree to do the same thing all the time. Okay. Does one need B? Does A need B? If he does, what did we just say about As-Samad? What's the definition of As-Samad again? The one who is not in need of anything for anything. Now you're saying he's in need of another one to manage. So that cannot be God. Can one manage the universe without the other? If he can, then the other is useless. There's no need for you. If he can't, then both of them are useless. Because the Creator is attributed with the attribute of Godhood, which means what? He's the one who is not in need of anything for anything, yet everything is in need of him for everything. And that's very important to understand. And therefore, you can see that there cannot be any God but Allah. There's only one Creator. Not just textually, but also rationally. All right. We don't have time to go through all these things, but we're going to... How much time do we have today? All right. Let me just do a couple more and then we'll take a break. Then he goes and says, قديم بلا ابتداء. Number 5. قديم بلا ابتداء. دائم بلا انتهاء. لا يفنى ولا يبيد. So 6 and 7. Good. Qadim means in the Arabic language. What does Qadim mean in the Arabic language? What does Qadim mean? Anyone knows? Old. Old. If I was to do it, and that's not to disrespect Imam al-Tahawi rahimahullah ta'ala, radiyallahu anhu, I would say أول بلا ابتداء. I would say that. Awwal came in the Quran. Qadim did not come in the Quran. Just so we can get out of this issue. Some people say, why Why did Imam Tahawi use the word qadim? Where did he bring that from? And it just means old. Right? He means it obviously in the sense of awwaliyah, in the sense of eternal. Eternal. Awwal means eternal. Awwal does not mean the first. Do we understand each other? Huwa al-awwal doesn't mean the first. Why doesn't mean the first? Huh? That's right. Who said that? Who said that? Absolutely. Once you say first, you're saying there's a beginning. A beginning is a measurement of what? Time. Beginning is a measurement of time. Allah is the creator of time. Allah existed before time existed. Do we understand each other? Awwal means the eternal, but At-Tahawi doesn't stop at there by saying qadim, but he says bila ibtida, eternal with no beginning. With no beginning. Not just eternal, because eternal may mean that he's so eternal, but he needs to negate the beginning, because beginnings are measurements of time. So he's telling you he is eternal with no beginning because his existence was always. It's not when did he exist? When didn't he exist? Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do we understand each other? So, eternal with no beginning. If someone says Allah is first, that means he existed after he was non-existent. This is called Adam. Philosophers call it Adam. Adam means non-existence. And for something to exist into existence from non-existence, there must be a stimulus. Who empowered him? Who stimulated him to exist from non-existence? That's God, then, in that sense. And that's an impossibility, obviously. Because He, subhanahu wa ta'ala's existence is not subject to His creation, which is time. Time is His creation. The existence of the creation is subjugated to the will of the Creator, not the other way around. Does that make sense? Okay. So He's eternal with no beginning. Then, da'im bil intiha, He is everlasting with no end. No end. Because ends and beginnings are all measurements of time. I am not trying to tell you, and I need to understand that, I'm not trying to say that time is indefinite and Allah exists so far back in time. The word in time is inapplicable to the Creator. Time is a dimension that exists because Allah created it, and Allah's existence is independent of all His creation, including time and space. Do we understand each other? Okay. His existence is not within the dimension of time. You need time to exist, not Allah. What do you mean? He existed when there was no time. He created time and space. What do you mean He created time and space? Anybody is a physicist here? Physics? No? Everybody's business? What's the definition of matter? What's the definition of matter? Huh? Mass and space, right? Matter is a mass that occupies space. Physics. Allah is not matter. He is not a mass that occupies space. Allah is the creator of matter, masses, and spaces. His existence is independent of matter, masses, and spaces. Once you have matter, you have a mass, and the space, that's when the dimension of time starts. All that is His creation, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is not matter. Allah is the creator of matter. لم يكن له كفوا أحد. لم يكن له كفوا أحد. Yes? All right. لا يفنى ولا يبيد means He's not subject to perishing or changing. Yani He is not subject to change. Not subject to change. Why not? Anyway, where's the dalil from the Quran about change? Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul. What does al-qayyum mean? I mean, come on, you know all these things. What does al-qayyum mean? Qayyumiyya means dawam, eternity without change, not subject to change. What does he tell you right away? لا تأخذه سنة ولا Sina and Nawm are a change or not change? They're change. Is He subject to change, subhanahu wa ta'ala? Is Allah ta'ala subject to change? Why not? That's right. No, but why not? Okay, because Allah says He's Al-Qayyum. Okay, other than that, rationally. Why isn't He subject to change? Ah, very good. Very good. Change is a creation. What else? So change is a creation. Can the Creator be attributed with the attributes of the creation? Can the Creator be attributed with attributes of the creation? No. Can you call any of the creation Allah? No. That's kufr. If any of the creation, if anybody says one of the creation has the attributes of Allah, that's kafir. Even if he says, if Prophet ﷺ has one of the attributes of Allah, is that kafir or Muslim? Kafir without a doubt. We understand each other? Alright. So, change is a creation. Can the Creator be similar to the creation? Can the creation subjugate the Creator? In that sense, who's more powerful, the creation or the Creator? If the creation subjugates, if the change changes the Creator, then who's more strong? Who's more powerful? The creation more powerful than the Creator. Number two. Number three. Change implies one or two things. One of two things. Either you change from state of perfection to imperfection, or from imperfection to perfection. Both of them are inapplicable to Allah. Both inapplicable. The Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala is not subject to change from anyway, and change entails imperfection to perfection or perfection to imperfection. And the Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala is always attributed with the attributes of Godhood. Ul-uluhiyya or rububiyyah. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Okay. So I'm going to give you 5 things and then we'll stop here today so you can sort of study them tomorrow. Because otherwise, if you don't read, it's going to take me a very long time to go over this. And you need to help me. Alright, so we talked about eternal with no beginning. Or awaliyah. Akhiriyah. Everlasting with no end. Number 3, He's the Creator, so He is not created. Right? Obviously, Creator is not created, is He? He's Al-Khaliq. Number 4, not similar to creation. Because why? لم يكن له Number 5. I'm going to ask you these things tomorrow, by the way. Just because you came to the class, I mean, you don't. I don't teach a class except by asking questions. Not similar to creation. Number 5, not subject to change. So far, that's what we've said, basically. This is a summary. So let's say it again. So you don't say I'm saying it in English, in Arabic. Eternal with no beginning. Everlasting with no end. Not created. Not similar to the creation. Not subject to change. Again, help me out because I can't read well. What's the first one? Eternal. No, not eternal only. Eternal only is not acceptable. With no beginning. That's when it becomes right. Second, everlasting with no end. Don't say without an end. No end. Deny everything because there cannot be any end. Forget end or ends. They're all inapplicable. Not created because he's al-Khaliq, not makhluq. Not similar to the creation. لم يكن له كفوا أحد. Not subject to, let's say him again. Eternal with no beginning. Everlasting with not created. Not similar to creation. Not subject to change. So far we've covered these 5 things. Again, number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Okay, number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 4. Number 3. Number 2. So now somebody comes and tells you, here's a question, since you've already done 1 full hour in the ilm of Tawheed with me. Now you are already scholars, alhamdulillah. Can God create another God? Oh, so he can't? So your God is weak? Can God create another God is the question. Why can't he have a son? Or why can't God create another God? What's the problem? Can God create another God? Absolutely. That's an invalid question. You don't just answer a question just because someone asks it. In Tawheed, you have to learn how to hold your... You don't speak of that which you have no knowledge of. Can God create another God? Invalid question. Why? There's contradiction in terms. Contradiction in terms. Why? You're saying God create another God. Number 1, we said God cannot be created. We said that God is not similar to the creation. If you say create, is that now similar to the creation because it came from non-existence into existence? Yes. Is it subject to change? Of course, he was non-existent, now he became existent. Is he eternal with no beginning? Of course he's not, because he has a beginning. That cannot be God by definition. It's an invalid question. You can't say can or can't because it's an impossibility. Does that make sense? What are the 5 things again? Not created. Not similar to the creation. And not subject to change. Okay, I think we should stop here so you can sort of relax. Then we'll continue tomorrow, but you need to read up a little bit, huh? Sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi. Okay. Any questions so far about what we've covered? So this is up until point what? 6. And we're rushing through it. It needs a lot more time, but at least you have an idea, inshallah ta'ala. All right? Any questions? Okay. Tomorrow, inshallah.
much, Sheikh, for this later session. So we shall proceed with our Isha prayer and later with our dinner. Yeah. Buku yang diedarkan tu boleh dibawa pulang lah. Esok minta harap dapat bawa balik.
صاف. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
استووا واعتدلوا ولا تختلفوا. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. وقالوا كونوا هودا أو نصارى تهتدوا قل بل ملة إبراهيم حنيفا وما كان من المشركين قولوا آمنا بالله وما أنزل إلينا وما أنزل إلى إبراهيم وإسماعيل وإسحاق ويعقوب والأسباط وما أوتي موسى وعيسى وما أوتي النبيون من ربهم لا نفرق بين أحد منهم ونحن له مسلمون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. فإن آمنوا بمثل ما آمنتم به فقد اهتدوا وإن تولوا فإنما هم في شقاق فسيكفيكهم الله وهو السميع العليم. صبغة الله ومن أحسن من الله صبغة ونحن له عابدون. قل أتحاجوننا في الله وهو ربنا وربكم ولنا أعمالنا ولكم أعمالكم ونحن له مخلصون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر التحيات المباركات الصلوات السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله سيدنا محمد وعلى آله صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله. استغفر الله العظيم الذي لا إله إلا هو القيوم. استغفر الله العظيم الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم. استغفر الله العظيم الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم. الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. صراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام وإليك يعود السلام. وحينا ربنا بالسلام وأدخلنا الجنة نور السلام. تبارك ربنا وتعالى يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم تقبل منا صلاتنا التامة واغفر لنا ذنوبنا عامة ولا تعذبنا يوم القيامة إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا ولوالدينا رحمهم كما ربونا صغارا وجميع المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذريتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم اختم لنا بحسن الخاتمة ولا تختم علينا بالسوء الخاتمة. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون. سلام على المرسلين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. تقبل الله منكم